All right. So I always like starting out with the gospel, the sharing of what you heard from the homily, things that's going to help. Kind of like a lot of times, right? By talking, like this lectio divina, right? Reading, and a lot of it is you internalize. You think about the words of God, and you hear, and be able to have a discussion. You know how important that is even in your regular schools, right? You guys have, you talk about things, among yourselves and share with the group to strengthen, collaborate. So the same kind of things in here. so, so what do you guys notice or remember about the gospel sharing out? Just the takeaway. Yeah. Okay, come on in. Yes.
The way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah, the way, the truth, and the life. Yeah, very significant, right? Um, Jesus, what? What was so the gospel reading? What did Jesus say? Just to go back and remember, and then also just the key takeaways from the what Father Finn was talking about, capturing that. So the gospel was touching on what exactly what you were saying, right? Jesus said, first of all, do not be troubled, right? Your hearts be troubled. A lot of times we are in living in time of a lot of stuff going on, right? And anxieties, a lot of things in your families. Okay, come on over. So a lot of times you are kind of gravitating toward different things, and also the world right now, in bit of crisis, right? War, conflicts. Okay, so it's a lot of time this anxiety with your economics. I can talk about a lot more, okay, because I do have much bigger view. I was in the military for 30 years, so I can share a lot. Okay, but it's important. It's, Jesus said spot on. If you have Jesus, you have nothing to worry. Okay, that's the problem is the faith, right? A lot of people, Father was saying, right? Is what the people typically gravitate toward things. What are the three things that people think about? Father said, right? Money, right? Money, you can buy everything. Kind of that's what people was just that's the focus they have. And then the next thing is they what gravitate toward, having what maybe you guys should know that your peers, right? Status symbols, things, popularity in the school, right? So that's the kind of stuff you're gravitating, focus. That's makes me happy. And then what was another thing that he was talking about? Um, and also obviously life, fear of death, right? Who in here is, if God says, well, I can give you go to heaven right now, who would want to say, yeah? Can you get your hands up? No one, right? You don't really know. Okay, it's kind of like one way ticket. You just don't know what happened, right? That's what your fear of the unknowns, what happened after you die, right? So just the kind of that you fear death, which is natural. Okay, so but that's what Jesus was saying today. What that it's so that's what Father again. I can talk a lot more about what it why it is important because a lot of it is really my testimony. I can just tell you 18 years ago I had that experience encounter. I would say that has changed me tremendously, being in the war zones, okay, going to mass on a regular basis to strengthen that faith, to gravitate, to know Jesus really present in the Eucharist. And a lot of people don't have that conviction. And that's the faith that has to be strengthened, it has to be nourished, that journey of faith. Father was using a couple examples. So one was from what that priest, very well known, who's that priest that he referred to. He's a saint that basically he was lost on the way to find his parish. Do you recall that priest's name? Very well known priest, Father. He's a saint actually. So, but he said to this one boy, right? That boy was guiding, giving him direction. Okay, here's the way to the parish, and he in turn said, "I am going to tell you the way to heaven, or the way." And then pointing directly to Jesus. I mean, the boy was asking, what are you talking about here? So we said, well, Jesus is the way. And if you know Jesus, that's simple. And that's the part a lot of people today don't really have. don't have that faith. That faith has to be strengthened, right? Strengthened in faith. And this faith is a grace. That's another thing too, right? It's not just a lot of people are just lukewarm and not understanding that that faith has to be strengthened, right? First of all, the word of God. A lot of people go into mass are just not just go through the motions. And I can tell you that before my profound conversion was that, everybody's going to, you just go there, check the box, and just think that you're at church, and you don't really have that desire, the love. You don't even, some people, I mean, I myself, I remember my profound conversion, there wasn't anything inside me to say I want to be there, right? So a lot of time it's truly is after you have that love for God, in terms of that faith is strengthened. It's different, right? You're yearning, just like you are. If you're in a relationship, right? You may be dating somebody or something. You're yearning. I mean, I'm a teacher in a classroom. I see sometimes boyfriend girlfriend's relationship. I see them early in the morning. It's like they are together, and then they're there, in the classrooms. They don't want to be out. I mean, not sitting next to each other. So that's the kind of the love. But now it's a puppy love, and certainly some of it didn't, not lasting. I mean, I've seen it just. But that's the thing is. But the love requires, actually. Father also mentioned, what is it? Mother Teresa, right? A saint. And he said, well, how do I sum up the Bible, the scriptures in something short, so you guys can remember? So what did Father say? Who remembers what was the same thing? In 5 words about the whole Bible. You see, that's the thing, is it should resonate and stays with you. You did it for me, right? You did it for me. Because that's the whole thing. At the end of our lives, Jesus is going to basically said, right? You did what you have done to the least of the people, you did it for me. The people, whatever you are. And that's the kind of stuff that you have to be thinking and reflecting, that is importance of doing things. Once you have that love, that relationship with Jesus, right? To be nourished, to be close to Jesus, you are going to have that. You will be empowered to go out in the real world, because there's a lot of times temptations holding you away, right? From the things that are really, that relationship with God. And if you are strengthened, you're going to be wanting to share that. And as he said, really, ultimately, what? It's the love for God and the love for other people. And a lot of time we may, we have conflicts everywhere, right? You know that kind of conflicts, nations going with another nations, and then you tell homes, conflicts internally, right? And conflicts with people around you. But if you're strengthened, you have the love for God, you can love other people. It's hard, right? You know that throughout your life journey, you're going to have difficulties. But that's the thing with it, is you have to strengthen that love for God. And I think there's a lot of saints, the same thing. They have to say, I can't do it alone. I can't do it by myself. But if Jesus, I hate, what's it, typically what? Love your enemies. Who can do that? Okay? So that's the thing, is with God, you can do all things are possible. So I just want to end with that, to be able to think about, to reflect, when you're going to Mass, is to be thankful. To be thankful. That's what the Mass is, to be thankful. It's a holy sacrifice, to be there to nourish, to be strengthen your journey, right, in this life, and just to be ultimately that, to be that instrument, right, for God, to deliver, to be light to the world, salt of the earth. That's the kind of the things that we have to be. And without God, you're not going to be able to do that. But you constantly, have that, and you're going to be confirmed next year. So you want to remember that's the importance of that, to be focused, right? Laser focused on your mission. Your mission is for Christ, to be witness. Okay. So with that, I'm going to just to move on to the next portion.